I'm getting it. Come on. Come on.
Just two.
There we go. Okay. Andrew,
Andrew, come on over, man.
I'm covered.
Oh, dude.
What do you got in your mouth?
Man, I was trying to. I'm sorry. I was trying to eat some these old juji fruits I found, but man, they gummed up my teeth. I think I might have pulled one out. God,
you pulled out a juji fruit or you pulled out a tooth?
Well, okay. And upon further inspection, is a juji fruit that looks like my tooth, as it formed to it because these are so stale they are like glue.
Wow.
But hey, I mean, give me that.
Oh, okay. Well, you go ahead on that. I'm going to start up our emergency broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, anyone out there who is listening or can have the ability to listen, my name is Jason. With me always is Andrew. Unfortunately, when COVID first hit and the pandemic was announced, we were terrified. So we ran into the first building that we could find because we understand what it means when the word pandemic is out. That means horrible things are about to happen. So we ran into a video store, we boarded up the video store, and we've been living here ever since in safety. So if anyone is still out there, if any humans are still alive, this is our broadcast. And we have finagled an old Betamax player to record over a beta tape. And we are sending the tape out to hopefully that someone can hear us.
I mean,
That's
I would
up to
imagine
date, right?
there's got to be. You don't need a Betamax tape player to receive the signal. I wouldn't imagine. I think that this is probably going out over normal radio broadcasts.
I mean, that's how Betamax works, right? Like, I'm not an engineer, but Betamax was superior to VHS, so that means it had to do something else besides just play video.
I agree. I mean, look at how things go with technology. Everything's got multiple purposes. I'm sure that was the same when these came out.
Obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
that's and that's probably why VHS won, dude, because people didn't want to handle all their movies being played to other avenue. Like, they didn't want their neighbors seeing what they were playing.
I agree, and I don't think that they realize that along with the better quality, sometimes if you got like a TV show on Betamax, if you just sit through the credits, guess what? There's another episode of that TV show. It's not just a one and done type of deal. All you VHS people, you don't get it.
They'll never get it, dude.
They'll never know.
Get it.
No. And if they are picking up a recording, it's probably garbled if they're getting it on their VHS tape receiver. What a ludicrous idea.
What a ludicrous VHS. Oh,
yeah.
man. It
Talk
sounds
about
like
the professor with the coconuts.
Oh,
Yes.
and elbow patches. Wait, what?
Yeah. Oh, that's because he's smart. You
Oh,
get those
oh.
when you pass the tests.
Oh my God! One of these days, Andrew, I want to teach. I just want the arm pads. That makes sense to me.
They go hand in hand. Once you get through that first day, they just magically appear on every tweed dress suit you have. And
Oh
if
my
you didn't
God.
have a tweed suit, guess what? You do after your first day of teaching. Magic.
Yes, I have goals, Andrew. Once this pandemic is done, the aliens go away, we can go back to society. I'm gonna get some elbow patches.
I just don't even know. Like, do you think maybe you're on winter break or something? Like, I don't even know what time. We came in here. It was like early spring.
Right?
Now, I mean, it could be Christmas for all I know. I'm not tracking days.
We're nowhere near Christmas yet. We can't be. Wait, hold on. We were marking off days on that big calendar in the back room. You know, the Tom Hanks big calendar?
Yes.
Now, granted, that came out in, the year, that big came out, but we've been tracking off days pretty well on it. So, oh my God. Andrew, it's Christmas.
What?
Holy shit, where's the time gone? I mean, besides into all these movies.
How do we still have food? It's been almost a year.
It's been magical.
Oh.
Speaking of almost a year, so you're eating Juji fruits. I am dining tonight on RC Cola, which
Ooh.
I didn't even know they still made.
Oh,
Um, It tastes really good. We worked so hard this week on trying to find those keys to the rental return box.
Yep.
Andrew, tell them what you did last Tuesday night.
I mean, Tuesday's a bit of a blur. I mean, we got into some crazy shenanigans, as we do. here in the video store. But no, we went looking for this key, and last time we were recording, everything we were doing, we were checking all of the video cases. Um, we found a couple more movies that were mislabeled that I think we've set aside for future weeks to talk about. But I tell you what, I got real into the ice cream machine. I got convinced that the ice cream, they hit the key in the ice cream, they poked it through that the chocolatey crust of a Nestle Crunch bar, and I went to town, and I might have eaten a little more than I should.
You ate a lot more than you and I should have. It was funny. That is the term. It is funny. I laughed.
Well, I don't know if it was funny the fact that I had eaten it all, or that when you found me, I was sitting in the cooler with the lid pulled right to my neck, and I was just giving myself some cold treatment therapy and taking a nap.
Oh God! Well, and then that dick just appeared on your face, like the drawing of the dick.
Yeah, that
Like
was that was so weird. Because I mean, I asked you. You said you didn't do that, right? You
no,
said you
no,
didn't do
no.
that.
Of course not.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like there's a drawing cat that comes in here or something. Maybe we have a visitor.
We have a drawing cat.
Maybe. I don't know, but I did get the drawing off my face. It just
It's still there. I mean, hold on. There. You
all
rub that
right.
off. Oh, okay. So this week we did not find the key, and that
No.
mystery object is still in the rental box. So we're hoping it's food of some kind, and we're hoping one of our amazing listeners out there has found us, and they're trying to feed us. So we really appreciate that. Thank you. But in the meantime, to stave off the boredom and to stave off cannibalism, obviously we're going to be watching all of these movies in this video store.
Yep.
But I really wouldn't call this week's choice a movie.
There is a theory called, or there's like what is it, like a thought process or something? It's called the call of the void. And when you're, well, pre-pandemic, when you were driving, sometimes if you go over a bridge, your mind would wander and say, I wonder what would happen if I just tweaked that wheel and drove off the bridge. The bridge. What would happen? I feel like this movie walks people dangerously close. Like if we were on the, like, we're doing okay in the video store mentally, and maybe our diet's not good, but mentally we're entertained. We're
Let's
not
be honest, it
depressed.
wasn't that good before either.
Yeah, that's true. But had we been in a worse mindset, like if we were like, we're going out of our minds, and I'm going to do a murder suicide to save us from this movie might have pushed me over the edge. Because, oh my God, like I saw the cover and I was like, oh, ha ha ha, Roller Gator, it looks funny, ha ha ha. One day, one of the names. So just to paint a picture of the cover, if you haven't seen the Roller Gator cover, I mean, it's hard to miss. It is on the left side, it is lime green, and it does some sort of fade into purple because, our Roller Gator friend is purple, but alligators are green, so I assume that's what they're going for there.
Mm-hmm.
There's
that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's an homage to our reptilian friends.
Yeah. There's a girl standing in front of a tunnel entrance
Who's rollerblading?
Yeah, she's rollerblading.
Oh, that's where Roller Gator
Yeah.
comes from.
Mhm.
Because she's on roller skates for 99.9% of the movie when
Yep.
she's not half naked.
Well, this poor girl really sold her soul for the fame, and that did not pay off. Because wow. Yeah, I can just imagine the director, John L. Jackson, being like, yeah, we gotta have you in a bikini. I mean, you want to be a star, don't you? Like, I don't
Okay,
know
so-
if that's how he talks, but
So the movie came out in what year?
96.
1996, directed by Donald G. Jackson. And Andrew, why is that name so familiar?
Well, if you like bad movies, You will know Donald G. Jackson as the man who brought you Hell Comes to Frogtown with Rowdy
Which
Roddy Piper.
with Rowdy Roddy Piper. Yup.
So, and it's a cult. I would say that's an easy cult classic. It's funny. It's ridiculous. It's not good, but it's fucking entertaining.
And to be honest, it was a decent story.
Yeah, it was pretty well thought out. I mean, there was good, decent acting in it too, if I
I
remember
agree.
correctly. So it's,
I
you
mean,
know,
some of it was hokey, but we're not reviewing that. But let's just lay it on the line. I enjoyed Hell Comes to Frogtown.
absolutely.
It
I'm with
was
you.
in my pool of I would go back and rewatch this.
Yeah, agreed. I didn't they make a sequel at some point as well?
I, I did not know that.
I thought that they did.
Hell comes back to Frogtown. Hell
Close.
takes a
It is.
journey
No,
off
it
into
is
the
Return
road.
to Frogtown.
Oh, obvious title. Okay.
Yeah, Return to Frogtown, and it is directed by um, Donald G. Jackson, who directed this, and that one stars Robert Zadar instead of
Oh, why have I not seen this?
yeah, dude. It's got Lou Ferrigno as well.
Okay, so obviously it can't be Hell comes back to Frogtown because Sam Hell was Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Return to Frogtown. Okay, anyway, let's get off of that, but let's let everyone know that Frogtown was a decent movie.
Yeah,
I don't want to. I dare say the word good, but enjoyable
I would say at least go as far to say is it most likely got a theatrical release, even if it was independent.
and a
Uh,
cult status.
yeah.
So moving forward,
So you go into Roller Gator thinking, all right, he likes weird little creatures, and okay, I see the cover of this Roller Gator. Looks like a puppet. How bad could it be? Is what I said to myself as I put this tape into the Betamax player. Oh my god.
then the second pandemic hit.
Dude. So, just to set the stage for everybody, this movie is shot absolutely, it's got to be shot on VHS.
So I
Like
wanted to bring
straight
this
to
up.
video.
Do you think it's on VHS or do you think it's mini DV?
96 mini DV would have been around.
But now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't think about it until just now, but I'm wondering if it was shot on VHS-C
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I think
because
it very well could be
what
VHS.
gets me to that point and why I thought mini DV was one of the opening scenes. They're at a carnival with an onboard light on
Yep.
the camera. No exterior audio whatsoever. So all the audio is being recorded by the camera itself, which is at this point a very Dogma 95 way of filming things.
Oh,
Um, the
absolutely.
the problem with Dogma 95 is you cannot do a genre piece. So you can't do anything sci-fi, you can't do anything horror, anything like that. It has to be strictly drama only.
Yes.
But obviously they don't go that route. So they everything is on the camera. But it's very obvious they don't want the camera seen because the camera's being held about stomach level by the cameraman the entire time.
Yes, all of these mid shots are like I think that he confused it for like his mid waist because yeah, it's like everything is and I was struggling so much at why there were so many two shots and like wider shots in this
I agree.
and why they assumed, when they could have done a two shot when they would they chose instead like in conversations when characters talk back to each other, they chose to just cut with every line back to the character and forth. They could have done a two shot and filter, but they never did.
So hold on. Before we get into all the fun little details, what is the movie about? Tell me the plot.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Roughly.
So the audio is so bad I could barely hear half of it. I'm gonna give you my best bet. So Roller Gator is chilling in a cave. He's found by a young girl on a beach who's being stalked by a ninja, and Roller Gator tells her that he's chilling, but he needs to get back to the swamp. So she takes him in her backpack and they go to a carnival instead. And in the carnival, the carnival people, I think, see Roller Gator.
Well, they knew about him beforehand.
Okay, thank you. They knew about
That's why
Roller
the
Gator
ninja.
beforehand, and now
Yeah.
they want to capture Roller Gator because they're going to make a lot of money with him in the sideshow because he can talk.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to get Roller Gator to the swamp.
Right.
So there's a lot of rollerblading and chasing, and then they end up back in the swamp. I think I don't even fucking remember, dude. Like that's like that is legit like all I remember from plot. It was so bad.
So Roller Gator has a friend who's out looking for him, who is some kind of zoologist, and
Oh yeah, the
and
friend. Okay,
he's
yep.
going into the big city because Roller Gator sometimes likes to go into the big city, and he's almost 12 years old, so
Yeah.
he's
Oh
not
yeah.
a little
They
kid.
made that a point
Yeah.
several times.
I'm not a baby. I'm almost 12.
So on the journey from A to B, B being the end all be all where Roller Gator wants to go, hijinks ensue, such as the ninja is tracking them down. They meet a taekwondo person who I thought was the ninja out of costume, who is not the ninja. And she said she studies something else, but not taekwondo, but her headband said taekwondo. And they have a training sequence where she teaches her how to do something in the matter of like 20 seconds. And then they form up. They're like, I'm going to teach you how to do this so you can beat that ninja. And this whole time, the owner of the carnival wants to kidnap the baby alligator to be a sideshow so he can make $1.5 million from people coming in. And during this whole escalade, they get the alligator back into the store, like back into the carnival, and they're negotiating with the alligator. And the negotiations go really smoothly. The guy's like, "Yeah, you can have whatever you want," and then they run away. And I don't know why they're running away.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, you had everything you wanted, but now you don't want it. What the hell's going on? And then they meet people along the way, like Slingshot.
Yes, Slingshot.
Boy, that was close. That ninja thought she was all that.
I guess your slingshot really saved us.
It's not the first time it's come in handy.
Well, thanks for your help. My name's PJ.
I'm Slingshot.
Yeah, you certainly are.
Who helps fight the ninja with a slingshot. And there's a lot of elements there that I'd like to go over. But eventually, spoiler alert, they find a tiny little patch of water in the LA streets, and that's the swamp.
So one of my favorite things in this, and I think that paints a good picture, and I appreciate you filling in the gaps because seriously, like my sanity was fading as this movie went on, and this was a short movie. I don't even think it was feature length if I remember, but fuck, it felt like the longest thing ever.
I think it was an hour 19.
Oh god, it was how.
Shot on VHS, edited on acid.
Yep. Did we mention Baby Gator rap sometimes?
I'm talking Gator rap, baby.
I think you've inhaled too much swamp water there, little buddy. Your brain is drowning.
Dig this. You've hardly any faith. Boom, 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 boom. Well, I'm a mean motor gator, a rock and roller skater. Try to catch me now, I'll kick your butt later. Yeah.
What is that?
Yo, what's up with that? It's Gator rap.
We did not.
And he also can do impressions of his favorite movie stars.
What?
Impersonations. Lucy, you have some splaining to do. Lucy, you cannot be in the show. Hasta la vista, little gator dude. I'll be back.
So at one point, the ninja, I guess, let me go back. Let's try to talk about some couple areas, and I want to make sure I go through and just take a look because there's so much bad here. I just can't. I don't know where to start. I don't know where I want to start to talk about how bad this is. Can we just talk really quickly about why the ninja was so high up away from them at the beach in the beginning?
At Ninja Beach? Yes, let's
Yes.
talk about Ninja Beach. So after the intro of the carnival where nothing is making sense whatsoever,
Yes.
we cut to our main girl, who's obviously our main girl for some reason. She is in a bikini at the beach. She walks into the ocean to her ankles and then comes back and dries off. But at this time, what does she see, Andrew?
Well, and I don't know how she sees it. Because okay, so we're acknowledging she sees this ninja. There's a ninja that's perched by a no trespassing fence by a staircase. They are pretty up close to this ninja as they do these shots of him or her. But eventually they do a wider shot of how far away this ninja is. Dude, I don't think that this is a beach. I think this is a quarry.
Oh, okay,
Because
that makes sense.
They're way down at the base, and there's all those. I mean, this guy's probably 1,000 feet away, like up high. Like he is so far away. So it's like she looks and acknowledges, like, "Oh, that ninja is watching me." But if you were really standing where she's at, you would have never seen. You would have never seen a ninja watching you, and he had no binoculars.
So the ninja is watching them, being very suspicious. She hears the voice of a distant voice calling for help. She goes into the cave, half naked as women often do,
course.
and finds a baby alligator. They have an extremely long back and forth, trying to get to the point that he needs help finding his way back to the swamp.
And he's just a dick.
He's a
Like,
dick.
He keeps he's trying to be like, what is it, like Triumph, the insult comic dog?
I bet I could walk out on the beach and find tons of people who I could hang with.
Well, there's no one on the beach today.
There's one too many for me. You.
I did see a weird woman all dressed in black. But anyways, I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a similar vein of like, haha, I'm smart. I'm a smart talker. But I thought because he was before she enters the cave, you heard, "Hey, somebody!" Like you heard this little whisper, and she's like, "Oh, maybe I should go check out that cave." So he's calling for help, right? She goes in there and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" The alligator says, "What? Me? Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm chilling. I'm chilling."
So the thing that takes precedence in this scene, at least to me, is the audio.
Oh,
Where obviously Baby Gator, which is I think the name that they give him, is voiced over in post. There is not a person on set doing this voice, and the voice is done by the director. By the way,
oh, of course. That does not surprise me.
When our girl, what's the girl's name? PJ.
PJ.
When PJ is talking, there's the sound of the ocean in the background, as you get when you're on location. But then they fade out the sound of the ocean and put a fake ocean
Yes.
in the audio, which is not matching anything near the real ocean. And then they do the voiceover, and it sounds really out of place.
Who are you?
I could ask that same question about you.
You're an alligator. You're a baby alligator.
Baby? Why, I'm almost 12.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And my favorite part is where it dips, where like it seems like it was edited live because they'll dip the audio and bring up the other audio before the other person's done talking.
Yeah, like they're sitting at the mixer.
Yes, and like it's like recording from tape to tape, so like they only get one chance at this.
Oh yeah, that's like the shit I used to do in high school.
Exactly.
Pause this tape, start that tape, go, go, go. You got one shot.
So the fact that we haven't brought this up yet is staggering to me. But throughout this whole sequence and much more, there is one song playing.
Brains. Anyway, with my powerful yet eloquent jaws, I could have freed myself instantly.
Oh yeah, the like banjo like country guitar.
Good
And
God.
it goes through the whole movie.
The music actually stops at 51 minutes and it plays a metal version.
Skateboard!
The ninja nutcase. Come on, let's go.
Yes, that's
Which
right.
in the credits is credited as found on some metal CD. So
No.
that part is in that part at 51 minutes, and then it immediately goes right back to the acoustic guitar for the rest of the movie.
Dude, and it's not like it's different parts of the same track. It's the same part of the same track.
Right.
Just loop.
And I had two ideas about this. One was the director knows movies, and he's like, movies need music. That adds emotion. Or the audio was so unbelievably bad that they tried to mask it out with music.
That's really bad if you're trying to mask your audio with music, and people already are going to have a hard time trying to hear the quote unquote story. And now you want to make it next to fucking impossible.
So having an onboard mic really hinders you from doing audio in your movie because you need to be very close to your microphone to get a good sound. I mean, take for instance, I am 3 inches away right now from this Betamax player's microphone, and now I am about a foot away from the microphone. So imagine being like 12 feet away on a crappy microphone on a camera that's not designed to pick up good quality audio.
Yeah, and it's most likely it's an omnidirectional mic, and they're in a cave, so it's picking up everything.
It's
Caves are not quiet.
this movie was not quiet.
No. One thing that I found interesting about our friend the Roller Gator was that he had. I understand he can talk. All alligators can, but the fact that he knew what like Barney was, and like he's got this awareness of the entertainment industry, and is a fan of it. I more than have to question how are you watching this? Because you're an
I think,
alligator.
well, he lives in a swamp, so obviously swamps have massive amounts of entertainment value there.
That's true. That's true.
He did a lot of impressions where I was questioning why would he know this.
Yeah.
So he referenced a lot of things where I questioned why would he know this, which got me thinking: is this movie? So okay, let's talk about this really quick, since we are on the topic. Who is this movie aimed for? Who is it designed for? Who is the audience for this movie?
Oh, this was made to be a family movie.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
This is trying to capture. This movie was going by what I always remember hearing about the direct-to VHS movies from the 80s and stuff, where they would make a movie, maybe it wasn't that good, but they'd have something on the cover art that would make kids stop and go, I want to see that, no matter what it was. It was all about the cover art bringing you in. I think they made Barney jokes a lot,
They did.
and I think that they made this a purple alligator, and they put him on the cover because they wanted kids to go, oh, I like Barney. This is like Barney, but different. And parents would go, well, maybe it's not that bad. It's like a purple alligator. I mean, it's a kid's thing. That is what I understood it to be.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So,
who did you think it was for?
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking too. I was thinking maybe either a younger but not like turbo young audience who could understand that the movie is not very good.
Yeah.
But I think the only audience that could watch this is like very, very young. But then why would you sexualize our main character so much into wearing a really skimpy bikini and not much clothing while she's rollerblading? It just seems really off market. On the same note, why was this filmed? Like how like there was an old story about Alfred Hitchcock that he made a bet with someone. He says, if you're a good director, you could make an entire movie in a phone booth.
Yeah.
Therefore, in the early 2000s, there was a movie that came out called Phone Booth because they kind of wanted to take that premise into effect. And they did a whole movie about a guy who gets trapped inside a phone booth. And it was pretty invigorating. It was pretty interesting. So do you think this movie was based on a dare where it's like, okay, no script, obviously no script.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like, you have 3 days. You can only use your friends and you cannot have a crew. So it's just one person behind the camera. So you have zero crew, zero budget, literally zero budget. Everything I think was found.
Yep.
Zero script, 3 days to shoot and edit, go.
Yeah, it makes me think that maybe this was done as like part of a competition. Like, because there's no like no one's gonna get excited about I'm making fucking Roller Gator today.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is not an exciting movie. Even for kids, I think they would be bored out of their fucking mind. I mean, and I will say any budget they had, which is probably whatever they had in their wallet at that moment, went to
Right.
fucking pay for Joe Estevez because his last name is fucking Estevez and he's Martin Sheen's brother.
Is he really? Because he
is
came off
really
that
Martin
way.
Sheen's brother.
And I remember I made that joke, but at the same time, I was like, no, it couldn't have been.
Nope, it is absolutely Martin
is.
Sheen's brother. Yep.
Okay.
So that's where any money they had between that and the fucking puppet. I mean, there is so little consistency with anything, including story. Like it's just kind of infuriating. There were some veiled attempts at humor here, but I don't. Like, I misunderstood one of the guys. I thought he said, I'm not talking gators, I'm talking gators. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, the humor and like they there was a few times where it's like they made a joke and then they kept staring at people for a long time.
Yes.
Expecting us to be like, oh my God, this is hilarious. We need to be laughing. And now it's awkward, which makes it even more funny.
Yes.
It missed all of those aspects.
All the marks. Like little like one-liners they tried to and I think this is truly it. It's forced. So there was one line that I wrote down where the roller gator says, if he's busy, I'm a mutant teenage power gator.
Yes.
And then there's holy Ferris wheel, PJ. And I think my favorite was the joke that the henchman tried to tell to Joe Estevez and
Yes.
how long they held on his reaction.
Say, why don't cannibals eat clowns?
I don't know. Why don't cannibals eat clowns?
Because they taste funny. Get it? They taste funny? Clowns are funny?
And they kept cutting back and forth. And I kept expecting them to cut to a wide shot because usually if you want some kind of a comedic element to go over without saying, haha, this is funny, you cut to a wide shot and it makes you feel distance from it so you can laugh. They stayed in that close-up a little too long, so it made it feel really awkward.
And I knew the answer to the joke. I think everybody knew the answer to the joke.
Yes.
And then it's like, I loved it because the joke was, why didn't the cannibal eat the clown? And the answer was because he tasted funny. And then that's when the guy laughs, and then Joe Estevez like has a fucking freak out, and he's like, "Get the hell out of my house!" And the guy gets up and leaves, though he hesitates before he leaves. Like, "Are you sure?" "Oh, you are sure." So he leaves, and then they keep on Joe Estevez, and he just keeps running his hands through his hair, going, "He tastes funny. Cause he tastes funny. Cause he tastes funny. Cause he tastes funny." And I was like, "Oh my god, they're filling time to still not hit the mark." Like, oh my god, it was so bad.
Yeah. It was pretty on the nose. Now, I think we can go through a lot of okay, let's just make a flat blanket statement and say the dialogue was piss poor.
Oh, dude, yes.
Like there was nothing redeeming about anything that was said. Like there was usually in bad movies, there's like that one shot, that one line. You're like, okay, I see where you're coming from with this. I get this is the line that made you want to write the rest of the script.
Yep.
That didn't happen in this.
No.
So, what other atrocities about this movie do you think really hit home?
I think that they were thinking of pranks that they would want to pull on their friends, and they're like, let's put these in a movie.
Okay.
Like the ninja who hates vegetables, so they have it steal a decoy backpack full of vegetables.
That felt very Naruto-ish. It felt very it's a quick gag. Let's move on quickly, but sure enough. So we're meant to believe that Slingshot is holding on to Baby Gator and keeping him safe while PJ is away with Baby Gator. And she has a backpack on, and Ninja is masked under her real face. Steals the backpack, ninjas away, opens it up, and inside finds celery and cabbage, which is obviously the craft services for the movie.
Yep.
Come on over, guys. We got some cabbage for you. And it's a big sight gag because it goes right back to Slingshot going, tee-hee, and it never hits the mark again. So something else about the ninja and Slingshot is when they are in – I'm going to use this word real fucking loosely.
Okay.
When they are in the hot pursuit of as PJ's skating away as fast as she can at 8 miles an hour.
Oh god, if even that fast.
With Roller Gator in her backpack, we have Ninja behind her and then Slingshot behind her on her own rollerblades. And every time it cuts to the ninja waving the sword, you can look at the ground and see that she is stationary.
Yep.
Which, I mean, as a filmmaker, as someone who has made films, it's that safety measure. You don't want someone skating with a fucking sword because I really doubt they had the money to buy a fake sword.
Nope,
so
it was
instead,
real.
they had a real sword.
It was absolutely real.
And they didn't want anyone getting hurt. So they had her stationary and kind of did a close-up to hoping that no one would notice, but sure enough, nothing is moving behind them whatsoever, which was bloody fantastic. I mean, that reminds me of the samurai cop scene, cutting to the black cop, and just doing the facial features, which were obviously not shot at the same time, but they ham-fisted them in.
Dude, it was, oh my god. They did what they could. This is truly a testament to what you can achieve if you purely have drive and know a couple of people.
Yeah, right.
This really, it's just so fucking bad, dude. And Slingshot is named Slingshot.
Because she has a slingshot.
Yes. Did they name the karate instructor? Because there is a karate instructor who trains PJ in martial arts to protect the Roller Gator. But don't worry, the Roller Gator doesn't need training because it already knows Kung Fu.
That got deep there, dude.
I know. I gotta ask the big questions.
I had to sit and think about it for a second. Yeah. This movie makes me fucking stupider.
It makes my head hurt to know that this exists and we watched it. Seriously, I watched the whole movie. I watched it beginning to end. I don't remember so much of it because I was seriously like blacking out or something. It was just so bad.
It's a mishmash, and I think that's what you get when you don't have a cohesive story.
Yes.
And then I don't think we talked about this, but you found out that the writing credit, be that as it may, goes to a certain someone who is schooled in this mentality.
Yes. So this movie, actually, there's from what because I always like to look things up and see if there's stories or trivia behind it. There wasn't much for this one, but the little bit that I was able to find actually did pique my interest. So even before the pandemic, Jay and I really had a penchant for watching bad films, and there was one director's movies. Can we use the word director? We will, but I don't know if it applies. Um, there's one director's movies where we've always been kind of enamored by it, and no, it's not Neil Breen because we do love the Breen.
Love the Breen.
But this guy's stuff is even harder to find because he actually Neil Breen, I think, on one hand, is like, what I'm doing is amazing, and I'm Jesus, and I'm look at all these beautiful women that want to be around me. Here, buy my movie. I'll burn it for you on this old CDR in an AVI format, 3 parts. Pay me $10. And it's like, well, for that's reasonable. This director, who had a huge influence on the director of Roller Gator, Donald Jackson, is known for some movies like I don't even know if I can name a bunch off the top of my head, but there's like Toad Warrior. There is
Samurai Bikini Vampires.
Samurai Bikini Vampires. Thank you very much. Just a whole buttload of terrible, terrible movies. His name is Scott Shaw, and Scott Shaw is the quote-unquote inventor of something called Zen filmmaking. And the drama behind this movie was that Donald Jackson, hot off of Frogtown, he had a partner he would make his earlier movies with named Mark Williams. Well, they attribute a lot of Mark Williams to the quality of that Donald Jackson used to bring in regards to like Hell Comes to Frogtown. So as years went on, apparently Donald Jackson met up with Scott Shaw, and Scott Shaw became like the Yoko Ono in this relationship and kind of pushed Mark Williams out. And Scott Shaw's influence crept in on Donald Jackson. So this could be, I think this is early in their relationship from what I'm reading, but it seems like this movie could be really the beginnings of Scott Shaw saying, I want to make a movie. Donald Jackson saying, like, I've made movies. Yeah, let's do it. And then they just go into it with this Zen filmmaking. Like, this could probably be the beginnings of Zen filmmaking.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Hauntingly terrifying, but kind of respectful at the same time. I get both sides of this.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But it's just, what a weird, you would think that this was made, if you didn't know any better, it was like two friends who had a kid who liked roller gators, and they were like, all right, well, let's go make a movie called fucking Roller Gator and shut this kid up before he goes to bed. Or like, it feels like this was made as like they had the purpose was not for something that they would, it's for something that would only benefit them down the road.
Now that you mention it, it does feel like it's shot by a child. Like when you look at home videos of like, here's dad, zoom into his nose, ha ha ha, zoom back out. It feels very childish and very amateurish in the way of understanding story flow. And I'm not talking like good fucking story flow. I'm talking like why you don't put 10 feet of headroom above someone's head. And then why the camera angles are always so goddamn low.
I know.
You're looking up at everyone, and then every time you get close to someone, and this is what bothered me a lot, was that they never changed lenses.
Nope.
So instead of zooming in on someone to be close to them, they physically got close and zoomed out, so it's a nice like wide 17 millimeter, and it looks terrible. Like it just makes everyone look awful.
Yeah.
You should. hint for filmmakers out there, unless you're going for a really weird visual element, don't do close-ups with wide lenses. It just does not look good.
Oh no.
Unless you're going for something weird, which I don't think they were here. They were going for far worse.
Oh yes.
Let's talk really quick about the editing. And I'm not talking so much about the actual editing itself, but I'm more along the lines of the editing software they used. This was shot on mini DV.
It was shot on mini DV.
Or VHS or VHS-C.
Okay,
it was shot on a low quality camera, but being from the film industry, being that the director Donald G. Jackson comes from the film industry, the editing software of choice, especially for nonlinear editors, is Avid.
Yep.
So Avid has this really terrible thing it does if you don't know how to export correctly. And when you're shooting on an interlaced video software, which is, if you're familiar with the term progressive, i.e. 1080p or 720p, that P stands for progressive, meaning there's no lines of interlacing in the video. But this was not shot on a progressive tape system. It was shot on an interlacing system. And when Avid exports interlaced material out, you see jagged lines every time there is movement on anything. So it just looks like, not only is it edited poorly, it like the quality of the export looks like absolute dog shit. It looks like something like the news might have found and tried to piece back together. It's repugnant. I'm using that word wrong. I don't care. It looks awful. So in their mind, well, we have Avid, and Avid makes everything better because that's how movies are made. So they're exporting this on Avid, and it looks like they're exporting from tape to tape, and it's just hard to watch. I'm sorry. Film nerd rant over.
No, I think it's really insightful, and that's absolutely what they did. I think, yeah, they edited tape to tape and they exported to a tape. I mean, this is like the quality of this. It feels like a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yes.
Like
this is the best quality copy we had.
Yes.
So.
And this is like Ring death video quality. Like, it's really bad. So there's a couple. Do I want to point this out? That I know this now. So one thing I think you kind of touched on briefly, but can we just really quickly, before I jump into another a crossover between this and another film series where it was confusing. I was very confused when I watched the movie, but it makes sense in learning what I have learned. There was a frog person. So that's one of the frog people from the Hell Comes to Frogtown sequels, made by this director and Scott Shaw. And Roller Gator, from what I'm seeing, makes an appearance in the third iteration of the Frogtown series.
Okay.
So
that is what I'm interested in. That's what I was wondering, how this correlated to his previous stuff, because the Frog Samurai in The Office is obviously from his previous films.
Yes.
But how does it correlate back and forth?
It doesn't. It didn't have a purpose in this. Like, it was just there, right? Like, they were having a conversation. What was it? I can't even remember. Was there a big plot point around it?
It was not. He was just a guy who was sexually harassing people at the carnival.
So, okay, so we know that this, I mean, suffice to say, this is a universe they're building. This is a legit universe where Roller Gator and the Frogtown movies are working in tandem, essentially, whereas, we are in a carnival town with this. I understand the Frogtown movies are more post-apocalyptic, so maybe the other side of California, or maybe they come from Death Valley. But they're showing here that not only do they show up in each other's films, but that these films are taking place, or these events are happening rather close together.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I'd like to also mention while you're talking about this, he has made 8 other movies with rollerblade in the title.
Oh, please list them. Please list them.
I would love to list them because that's what I do, Andrew. I like to enlighten and educate, as I am obviously not looking over at the Fangoria magazines that we have stacked up. And I'm just gonna keep looking real quick, but I know this stuff from my heart, and I think that's what I want everyone to know. I want everyone to know how smart I am that I'm not looking this up while you're asking. So, yep, there we go. Okay. There's a lot of the frog movies, like Max Hell, Frog Warrior. But then you also the rollerblade movies are like the Blade Sisters. God, there's a lot of movies. The Roller Gator. He did. Where did they go? Return of the Rollerblade 7. Legend of the Rollerblade 7. The Rollerblade 7. Rollerblade Warriors Taken by Force. This dude is seriously interested in rollerblading culture.
Either that or he has a serious rollerblading fetish, like how Tarantino loves feet or the director of Shark Exorcist loved women writhing on the ground in bikinis.
Oh, yeah, good point. I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe he's just like super interested in it. Like this is like, oh my God, I love ball bearings and big chunky shoes. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Yeah, I mean, fuck. If you have the ability to make art, like what? Who's it to anyone else to say no?
Well, and I will say, rollerblading was fucking popular in the 90s.
It
And,
was.
when you had movies like Airborne, which was actually decent in regards to rollerblading, and then there was what? Rad was biking, Thrashin' was skateboarding, and then, you have the BMX Bandit, but we won't talk about that. But
Oh my God, I remember that movie.
But there's like they focused on sometimes they focused on the sport first and then the story
Yes.
later, and it's almost like they wanted to do the same thing here, but then they realized, oh, rollerblading is just you just go till you're tired. You just go till you get to where you're going, or till you go, you know what, I'm going to turn around and go home. There's no other purpose for there's no roller skating competition that I
Right,
can
right.
think of.
Like Rad or something like that.
Right. It's not like the national downhill fucking rollerblading derby. Like, no one cares.
Um,
I'm sorry. I'm
no,
sorry.
it's good. So overall, would you watch this movie again?
Fuck no. Oh God, that is a hard pass.
I would watch it if there was a director commentary talking about the production.
Okay, yes. If that's the case, I agree with you 100%. I want context. I want to hear.
Yes.
I would love to hear the actor or the main actress and the ninja. I
Ooh,
would
I would too.
love to have that commentary. You're so right.
The other thing, the last thing that kind of was brought to my attention before I'd like to touch on credits, was the fact that you always wonder who is producing, who is funding this movie being made, and I was wondering throughout this whole film if the Swampland Preservation Fund. I don't know if there is one. I mean, there has to be one. Either this is California or Florida. It's obviously a temperate zone. It's a tropical zone. Sorry. And they talk about the swamps like it's the greatest thing on the earth. Like if they didn't have swamps, the world it's very birdemic in the way, but not as preachy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if they got a grant from a swamp preservation society and paid the actresses and actors very little. But I'm wondering if that's how the director lives. Is he gets these grants to fund him, to pay for his apartment, and then he makes a movie over a weekend.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I mean, I can imagine Donald Jackson he was not a zillionaire. I can't believe that he had a ton of money in the bank.
No,
His movies were pulling just massive box office,
I don't think so either. So is there anything else you'd like to talk about before we get to the credits?
Okay, I just want to confirm one last thing with you before we adjourn here. So, if I'm correct, the carnival owner did turn into an alligator at the end of the movie and used his hands to make the mouth bite his assistant.
He made the mouth open with his hands and close. How did he turn into a alligator?
I don't fucking remember.
Oh, okay, fantastic that I didn't miss that plot point.
Yep, I think he was just there. That's who he was.
Okay. I think by this point in the movie, if you had made it to that timestamp, which I actually have it in front of me, is 1 hour and 21 minutes into the movie, and it's in the middle of the credits. So if you're a Marvel fan, you're going to be treated to a mid-credit scene and an end credit thing.
Yep.
But
Oh yeah.
The boss, the big bad guy of the movie, who's trying to capture little Roller Gator this whole time, turns into an alligator for no reason, and his mouth is flapping open. But he's the exact same color and shade of Roller Gator.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes to make me think that maybe they're related, because Roller Gator earlier on says that he is a special type of alligator that can talk, and there's very few of them in the world. So I'm wondering if the Roller Gator makes these alligators like vampires, or he actually was his family the whole time. Opens up the idea for a sequel or a whole universe of Roller Gator films.
And I bet that's what they were going for.
Let's hope, Andrew. I hope there's more. I know the director died, but he died in 2003. So maybe, hopefully, someone will take up the mantle like Batman after Bane breaks his back, and we get Azrael taken over for a little while.
Yeah, I'd love to see a modern day remake of Roller Gator. I think
I would.
it would really do a lot of good.
Andrew, we are stuck in a video store. I think we can make a camera. Let's remake Roller Gator.
Dude, yeah, with the security cameras we got in here, it'll be better quality for sure.
It'll be far better quality, and then we can edit the exact same way from tape to tape. So,
absolutely,
we got this in the bag. Jumping into the credits, there are staggeringly 2 editors for this film. The editing credits go to Matt X. Lawrence and Bob Bradley, both relatively normal names once we start listening to the other names of the credits.
Yes.
So I'm thinking there was honestly 2 editors for this movie. There wasn't like a little joke or anything. The songs, oh my God, I can't get enough of these credits, and I'm trying to play the tape right now just to pause it right. And so Roller Gator song is by Elizabeth Murr, and she got her fucking money's worth.
Yeah.
If that's the song that plays through the whole goddamn movie. And it's performed by Magic Man, which I'm guessing is the director, because I'm guessing the director did a lot of stuff himself and just renamed everything himself. But you have additional music selections by Preston Reed from the CD Metal. I wish I was making that up.
Dude.
It's a copyright 1995 Dusty Closet Records. So I'm guessing, again, that's probably a friend.
Yep, definitely.
So after we get the musical selections, we move on to the first assistant director, which I'm staggered there's a first AD on this set, until I read the name, Hall and Fast. Hall and Fast. And anyone who knows anything about film sets is the first assistant director is the one who's kicking ass. Like, while the director, the producer, the cinematographer, they're all busting ass, like trying to make the film look good. It's the first assistant director who's actually like the most hated person on the set, because they are the ones who are really taking charge, yelling at everyone, running back and forth, and probably one of the most stressful jobs on an entire film set.
Definitely.
So Hall and Fast. If they were born with that name, they were amazing at what they were doing. The production.
They are a junior.
They are a junior. That's right, Hall and Fast Junior. So there was a Hall and Fast Senior. The lineage of the Hollandfasts.
And Holland Fast Jr.'s done some work. You've got, outside of Roller Gator, you've got Yin Yang Insane, you've got Guns of El Chupacabra, and The Lost Sea Serpent.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were probably all shot in the same week.
Yeah.
The other thing that threw me off about this is there's a casting person for this. So someone went to a casting agency. We're led to believe someone went to a cast agency and paid someone to hunt down good actors for this movie. Yeah. And then,
man.
hands down, my favorite, and this is the last one I'm going to do, the sound mixer, which a sound mixer is a person who sweetens the sound, makes it sound nice and clean and warm, and it sounds like it's real, where you can't hear the edits going back and forth, is done by Louder or Not. So kudos to you, Louder or Not. This dude failed.
Oh, God.
Because there is no Louder or Not.
There is no Louder or Not. Dude, and one of the other ones I think you had mentioned, did you mention Matt X. Lawrence?
I did. He was the editor, and I totally forgot. The production designer was Sergio Agator.
Yes. Sergio Agator. Just so you know, I think Matt X. Lawrence is actually our director, Donald G. Jackson. Which doesn't surprise me.
I'm willing to bet every person on this list is Jackson.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
And then okay, I'm sorry. There was one more credit that I wanted to touch on, and then I promise I will stop talking about this because I know this is not entertaining. A telecine colorist, and what that is a colorist will go through when you shoot film, when you shoot video, you shoot it at a very flat format, so it looks really muddy. Mm-hmm. Like if you've ever seen deleted scenes or scenes that were never in films, like in bonus features, the colors don't look rich. It doesn't look clean. It looks really crappy. It's the colorist's job to go through these and really bring the color out and design the color to match the mood of the scene in the film as a whole.
Yeah.
This was shot on crap tape and never touched in post in any kind of fashion with color whatsoever.
Oh,
but they're crediting a telecine colorist as Lucy Cannon, and I am my jaw dropped when I saw that they wanted us to believe that someone took the time to color this movie in post.
Dude, well, if they paid her money and she really was one of those people, like, what a terrible job she did.
Oh my god! It
dude,
makes me
this
so
movie
happy.
was so bad. Like, we've watched some bad ones. Like Vice Academy was bad, but we were having fun. We were like, this was like torture getting through.
This was rough. This was a chore, to say the least.
Yeah.
Speaking of chores, we have other movies around here, and we'll get to next week's pick in a second. But Andrew, you found a movie this week on the shelves that looked really interesting. I would love for you to tell us all about this movie you found.
Yes, so this was one I wasn't familiar with. I actually found it stuck kind of wedged between two other movies, and they were holding up the end of a table that was a little at an angle because they were just thought this is going to be so bad. And if you look at the cover, it just looks like horse crap. But it seems like it's the right amount of bad for us. So this is a movie I found called The Amityville Vibrator. The tagline says, "For God's sake, get off." And there's a picture of the house, and the chimney in the middle is shaped like a dildo, and it's got blood dripping down it. And then there's like a ventriloquist dummy in one window and a woman with fly eyes in another. The back reads, Kathy moves into a new home and soon comes into contact with a vibrator with ancient evil powers. Two researchers must locate this possessed item before Kathy and anyone else she encounters become sex slaves for Satan. Just to give you an idea of what we're in for with this one, in meaning what type of movie it is, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people in this movie that I'm able to track, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those 9 are women.
Okay. So we instantly know what genre this is.
Yes. Um. Oh my! Like, I am so looking forward to watching this one because it's a little over an hour, and it looks bad. But I give people credit. If their goal was just like, hey, I like sleaze movies and I like horror movies and I want to make one, shit, this guy, whoever made this movie, might have gotten a lot of girls to take their shirts off for him. And if that's what his goal was, he probably did it.
To be completely honest, I utterly agree with you. I think as long as you are not putting someone else in danger or hurting someone else, like the proverbial snuff film, doing thing or
Yeah.
hurting an animal or things like that, which I think are just fucking disgusting.
Yep.
I think if you have the inclination to make a movie, regardless of the subject matter or the genre, as long as you're not really hurting anyone, I think it's one of the best things in the world because who are these people to ever say, you shouldn't have made this movie? Screw you. What movies have you made? You are
Yeah,
at least
exactly.
contributing to the culture. Regardless if it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. You are doing something and I will always applaud that.
And shit like that, like we need shit like this. Like I know with the pandemic, I know they're not making movies now, because how are they going to get released? Who's going to ship them to the video store we're in?
Right.
So
Right.
the entertainment world is kind of dead, and eventually, this is a kind of people will need to repopulate the entertainment world.
Thank God.
Not everything can be a blockbuster or an Oscar nom. Sometimes people just do their best, and
And
and that's why I like to give these a shot. I'm with you.
yes, and like before the pandemic hit, when I could go out to conventions and when I was able to shop online, I will go out of my way as long as you are producing the movie yourself, like you are making the disc yourself, you are making the digital file, you're not shipping it off to some bigger company to take a big chunk out of it like Amazon or something like that. I will go out of my way to purchase this movies, regardless if I like them or not. I will help you. I will fund you. I believe in this mindset. I believe in you. So, all the filmmakers out there who are making their own shit and releasing their own shit, you have a fan, and it's not just me. There's tons of people like us out there. So please, please, please keep making your vision. And I think
Agree. And
one
people like us, we might rip it apart or give our funny, honest viewpoints,
yes,
but that's to come with anything, and it's probably easier to say, just accept the fact that people are going to rag on you when you're not the one with your name on the movie. But I mean, I think that this is part of the fun. Even if I was listening to somebody talking about some stuff like this, I would just say, "Oh, I'll add that to my list," because now, even though they told me it's bad, I still want to find out how bad it can be.
I mean, there's definitely an audience out there who thinks when they hear the term the goriest movie ever, the worst movie ever, well, that just puts a fire under our ass to watch it that
Yep.
much more. So, and regardless if it's good or not, if we make fun of your movie, the coolest part about that is we're watching your movie.
Yeah, we
I mean,
watched what you did.
I've made a shit ton of short films and a couple features that no one's ever seen. So we'll it would be cool for people to see them. And I think if someone just watches your movie, it means a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I agree completely. Even if they hated it, it's still a reaction. You still got them to. You gain their interest enough, and they dedicated the time to watch it through. Not
Right.
not
I
everybody likes
agree.
everything the same.
I utterly agree. Andrew, go grab those movies over there off the shelf. The ones right,
All right.
yeah, right behind you.
Okay. There you go.
All right, thank you. Okay. So I just grabbed them. All right, I'm gonna put two behind my back. All right, there we go. Okay, hold on, dude. I am getting really fat off all this junk food. Like putting my hands behind my back is an effort at this point. All right. Oh,
We got to get the video store workout. I think I've got Linnea
sweating.
Quigley's horror workout around here somewhere we could do.
what, the take off the top and smile?
I mean,
and
yeah,
make
you
like
gotta be-
vaudevillian faces at the camera?
Yeah, if it's Linnea Quigley, yeah.
Oh my
Definitely.
god.
You got to
Well,
mug too.
I've been doing that anyway, so I'm already ahead of the game. All right, Andrew. I got left or right. Which one do you want?
Left.
Left is Slime City.
Oh boy.
I haven't heard of this one.
Oh boy. Yeah, Slime City, it's gonna have I've seen the cover, I've never watched it. It looks like it might be a trauma film. It's definitely got that trauma quality.
Okay.
It definitely looks like it might have some, I don't know if I'd say squick moments, but it's gonna be pretty gruesome.
Cool. And Trauma, I think, has like their own kind of flair to them where they're hit or miss because they're very self-aware.
Yes.
And oh shit, dude, the fucking tape's running out. Like we're getting just a
Barely an hour.
Shit, let me fix this. Call for help.
Okay,
Again, you've tuned in with us
for a couple times.
now. You know what we need to do, and every time you catch our phone number, and that number is 9